Dream killers are real, and the crazy part is, most of them don't even realize that they're doing it. And of course I know it may sound like some mythical creature who I'm describing, but have you ever been laughed at for telling someone your biggest dreams? Have you ever had your confidence shattered by people who you thought were your friends? Yep, that's the dream killers in action. And if you're not careful, they are going to take your dreams from you, or cut them in half into more sizable portions. But the truth is, you were not born to play small. Those big dreams that you have in your head are there for a reason. The dream killers, though, are the people who project their limitations onto you, and they're the ones who chose to give up on their dreams, so they don't like it when they see you chasing after yours. From a young age, what I realized is that not everyone is rooting for you, or some people have convinced themselves that since their dreams aren't possible to them, then yours aren't either. Be very wary, though, of staying too close to these people, because their beliefs may start to rub off onto you, and start to become yours if you're not careful about it. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about who the dream killers are, and all the forms that they can take. I'll be talking about personal experience when it comes to dream killers in my own life, and how I actually proved them all wrong. I also have a story from one of my gym friends, where he thankfully shared his massive goals with me, as opposed to one of these dream killers. And voila, since I showed him my belief in him, now I got him believing too, and he's achieving all these big things. And I will also talk about how to spot dream killers, and how their talk is going to sound super nice and caring, but this is exactly why you need to watch out and be on high alert.
You're trying to confuse us, Patrick.
So this episode will be taking a slightly different angle and perspective from my last video on bullies, but it's equally as important to know. Anyways, without further ado, let's dive deeper now.
Give me a...
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Jared and James channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys know that must mean not subscribe to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts in the video. Follow me on every platform, and if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through It by Jared Weiss. All the links to purchase it on my website was jaredryanweiss.com. That's JAREDRYANWEISS.com. Buy the book, support me, and make sure to check out all those shirts in there as well. Every shirt's been designed by me, every shirt's made of 100% organic cotton, so any support at all, as I'm always saying, will be very much appreciated. So let's dive into Dream Killers now. So, first off, have any of you guys ever heard the old Kanye mixtape song, Dream Killers, and it's also known as the Gossip Files? Over the years, anytime I ever encountered any haters or bullies, I constantly return to the song, because it serves as a powerful reminder to me as to who and what the Dream Killers actually are. Let's go through some of these lines, and since I don't curse, yes, I'm one of those people, I'll of course be saying them cleanly. So verse 1, he goes, I want to be a baller, but the dream spoilers will fool ya. Hating on you to the man's on the corner, old folks said he'd never make it off the corner. They are the virus that corrupts the soul, they are the cubic zirconia inside the 10-karat gold. Then you gotta wash your hands of him, get clean on him. Somebody told me success is the best revenge, and told you plaques high like who would have thought, and tell them thank you for your no support. They are the dream killers. It sounds kind of harsh, but it is true. These dream killers are a virus that will corrupt your whole belief system if you're not careful. They will make you think that you can't do the thing that you know you can, and they'll try to convince you that you're better off not trying, and above all, they're going to try to pull you back down to their level of mediocrity, which they've chosen to accept for their own lives.
Psychotic. They keep creating new ways to celebrate mediocrity.
They will try to tell you all the reasons why it can't be done and why it's impossible, so you gotta wash your hands of them and get clean of them. Verse 2, he goes, and they know they hating, but what they don't know is, they are my motivation, they are my inspiration, cause we the leaders and they the followers. Then skipping ahead a bit, how you gonna tell me how to live my life when you can't even get your own ish tight, right? They are the misery that loves company, cause that comfortable corporate job can't comfort me. I told them I finished school, they said, oh, you graduated? Nah, I decided I was finished. Chasing your dreams and what you got planned. Skip a bit more. Can't kill your dreams, so they assassinate your character. Do anything to downplay you or embarrass you. Come around with you, but they ain't down with you. They're the dream killers. So these people will often love to hang around you, but they're not actually in your corner. So often they're going to try to mock your dreams, and try to convince you to fit in and be exactly like them, even when you know that you're not like them, and you're proud of that. Anyways, a super powerful hype song for anyone who's dealt with or is dealing with these Dreamkillers or bullies or haters. Now next up, Dreamkillers can come in many forms. First up, we have parents. Thankfully, I was and am lucky enough to have parents who always told me that I could do anything, and to always instill the values of hard work, and have always encouraged my dreams. And as long as I believed that I could do something, I was never told it was impossible.
I would follow my dream. You've got greatness in you, Rodney. Never doubt it.
Many other kids out there aren't so lucky. And I know this because the kids who had the Dreamkiller parents would often talk to me the exact way I would hear their parents talk to them. Be realistic, you're crazy, people like us can't do that. So parents who are Dreamkillers so often teach their kids to be the same way. These kids then become our peers or even quote-unquote friends, and they're going to become the ones who laugh at our biggest goals, and they're going to try to convince you to give up, because if you do give up, you're going to end up in the same spot as them, and that of course keeps them comfortable. On the flip side though, as long as you're always trying, which also ties into my last video about bullies being that same way, because they don't like that I'm still trying and going after my dreams, when meanwhile they chose to give up on theirs. And so when you're still trying, there's always a chance that you're going to achieve that dream, which in turn will prove them wrong, and will become a threat to their whole worldview and belief system that these people have chosen to accept, so they can't have that happen. And then of course these days you also have the online haters and online bullies and online Dreamkillers, and I could attest to this, that no matter how many followers you have, I've had people making fun of my speech challenges, or during some of my favorite podcast clips, I'll have people who comment things like, oh, you're just yapping. Or I've also heard the whole, oh, I guess anyone can have a podcast these days. Or podcast equipment should become more expensive.
How rude!
Now, of course, on the one hand, I could take this to mean that I'm not good at this stuff, and that I should just give up and quit. Or I could trust myself and believe my dreams louder than anyone could hate on them. And so I often take people saying these things as a test. It's like whenever I receive comments basically telling me to quit, it's like, how strong is my belief? How strong is my love for what I'm doing? Or even certain social media accounts these days, you have to be careful with who you're following, because for instance, there's actually this one basketball account that every so often pops up on my Twitter feed, where the posts are so often highlighting a great NBA player, which of course is awesome, but what I don't like is how the caption is always focused on how much better they are than you. And it's always like, there's a reason why this person's more special than you, and I find this so disempowering.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Because in my view, I'm always like, what makes any person more special than me? Why am I going to listen to someone, another human of course, telling me all the reasons why other humans are above me, and why I can't do something? It is possible, keep in mind, to promote something without discouraging others. I have no issue with showing off a pro's work ethic, and showing off how talented they are, but I do have an issue with the whole, this is why you can never do that. And even if that was true, by believing that I could do anything, I know that believing this will always get me further than me believing that oh, I'm not as special as these people. Now moving ahead, I have a personal story when it comes to Dreamkillers. I actually have a lot of stories with them. But anyway, so as I said earlier, I'm extremely grateful that I had parents who always encouraged me to dream big, and who made me believe that with hard work I could achieve anything. However, when it came to my surroundings, whether it was coaches, teammates, or classmates, these people weren't as nice and weren't the same. Now thankfully, I never let these Dreamkillers decide my future. But whenever anyone would hear that I had dreams of playing college basketball, or soccer and track at the highest level too, I got laughed at so much that I became used to it. Once again, another reason why I didn't like high school. But eventually I wore this as a badge of honor, and realized that they're laughing at me because I'm dreaming big, while they've all decided to settle. They're laughing because they couldn't do it if they were in my situation. But God gave me this vision, not them. My dreams aren't meant for them to understand. And of course, another huge dream of mine has always been to dunk basketball despite being only 5'6". So I would hear it all the time. You're too short, you're white, you don't have good genetics. How could you possibly achieve anything as an athlete and dunk basketball? It's never gonna happen. I even had a science teacher when I was in 12th grade, who after hearing about my dunk goals, took out a yardstick, showed me how many inches I would need to jump just to touch the rim. I didn't listen though when they said that I can never do those things. And you can read more about these stories in depth in my book if I throw it. But with my whole college sports dreams, even after not getting the playing time I know I deserved in high school, and my varsity coach mocking me and calling me D1 as a way of making fun of my high hopes and aspirations for myself in my career, Yes, childish, I know. But by betting on myself and going to all these college camps, as well as playing in top AAU tournaments, I got 3 D3 college offers/looks. One came after winning MVP of a playoff game at the Harvard basketball camp, a D1 camp, and I also won MVP of some AAU tournaments. And also at the end of my high school season, my coach apologized to me in front of the whole team, saying how sorry he was, like he didn't realize how good I was sooner. And even though I never actually played college basketball, I've of course told the whole story of my tryout at Cornell, for the club team where I didn't miss a shot the entire tryout, and that was in hopes of using that to tell the coach of the Cornell main team what I could do against other top competition at the school. Or of course, as I recently told, the story about my whole amazing tryout for NYU, even though the coach didn't take any walk-ons, but like I earned the respect of every player in that gym that day. And of course my dunk journey, which I'm still on, but it took me 10 years just to touch the rim, and yet I did it while healing from a life-threatening illness, and I'm still grinding towards that dunk. However, with my energy sapped from all my health challenges, I was able to reach a 36-inch plus vertical jump. What does my science teacher have to say about that now? I'm not too sure. So, where are all those people who were laughing at me back then? Well, they've of course found other things to make fun of me for these days.
What a loser!
But as Kanye says in the song Dreamkillers once again, hold your plaques high like who would have thought and tell them, thank you for your no support. So I made sure to believe in myself, and will keep on doing so louder than the Dreamkillers could ever root against me. Now next up, I have a super powerful story coming from one of my gym friends, Gregg, and this illustrates the importance of who you share your goals with. We need to be around people who hype us up and believe in us even like when we don't believe in ourselves yet.
Woo! The electric in the air! Yeah!
So to illustrate this concept, one of my gym friends, Gregg Prosser, has a super powerful story. Now of course, just to be clear, I did ask him prior to this, and he said that like I was more than welcome to share his story. So recently, at 54 years old, he decided that like he wanted to start bench pressing. So one day he comes up to me and he says like, he has this crazy, maybe even unrealistic goal to bench press 300 pounds. How many other people would have responded to him by saying like, oh my god, that's impossible, you're never going to be able to do that, or even just laugh at him? Now I'm thankful that like he shared his goals with me, because I'm the type of person who's going to be your best hype man, and will tell you all the reasons why you can do it, and I'm going to believe in you all the way. So he never hit more than 225 pounds before this, and he was definitely skeptical, but like I knew he had it in him. Especially because I've seen so many people, including myself, who defy all the odds. So who'd say that you can't be the next one? So Gregg got to work on this goal, and after a few months of dedicated hard work, he told me he wanted to try for a PR. He goes for 245 and hits it easily. Now initially, don't forget, he wasn't sure like he'd ever pass 225. And here he is at 54 years old, an age where conventional people, or average people, will tell you that like you have to start declining.
Too old!
Whether you should prepare for having less muscle and less movement, but that always drives me crazy because I've seen so many clear examples of people who are doing the opposite and getting better with age and with time. There's of course Andy Nicholson, the over-the-hill dunker who didn't get his first dunk till he was like 39 I believe, and I was like 54 and still dunking himself. You also have Dick Van Dyke still going to the gym at age 100, and there's countless others too. So getting back to Gregg's story, think about this. Has this ever happened to you where someone literally injects their belief into you, and then after you do the thing, it becomes your belief now too? Sometimes that's all it takes. It's having someone else prove to you what you can accomplish with belief and hard work, and after you see the proof, you become unstoppable. This is like the Dreamkillers antidote. And this is why parents and friends should be the ones to do this, but yet so often it's actually the opposite. And now my friend Gregg is well on his way to hitting the 315-pound bench, and maybe he even hit it like by the time this video comes out. But now he's telling me that like, he can't wait for me to get my first official dunk on 10 feet, and for him to bench 315 on the same day. See, so when you believe in someone else, so often that favor actually gets returned. And I'm always that guy for people in my life, telling them like how I know what they can do, because most people think too small. But I see that massive potential just waiting to be unlocked. Now sometimes it can be hard to spot and avoid dream killers, because they don't always come across as people laughing at you and mocking your dreams. The hard part is some of these people do come across as well-meaning and well-intentioned, and sometimes they even are. They'll try to tell you all the reasons why not trying is better for you and safer. It's like, oh, if you try and fail, you're going to waste all this time, so therefore it's better to just play it safe. And it sounds like they're trying to protect you from disappointment, but it's also preventing you from success. Now in the case of your parents being the dream killers, Of course, I would never say to avoid them.
I got my parents in town.
Unless you want to kill them, they can't stay in here.
But just recognize and be aware of what's going on. Sometimes maybe you have that first failure and they're going to use that as proof. See, if you keep on trying, that's what's going to happen. Not realizing that failure is part of the process, or maybe they chose to give up after one failure. However, when it is peers who are the dream killers, try your best to avoid these people, because you don't want their negative mindset rubbing off onto you. You can use them as motivation, as I've done, but this is why, back to my whole high school stories and my whole high school experience, whenever one kid would hear about my massive dreams for myself, and about all my athletic goals, they would tell others and everyone would all join in. And for all the followers who would join in, they may not have realized it at the time, but they were ensuring their own acceptance of mediocrity. They found it safer to be with the group than to be like me putting myself out there. Now on the flip side, find people who breathe life into your dreams, and as I said in the last video, don't get too caught up in trying to prove the haters and bullies wrong just for the sake of doing that, because sometimes the anger and rage ends up hurting you in the end. There's a reason why kids are born believing in their dreams and not having any limits.
Imagination.
And so I've always found it so enlightening if you ever get the chance to hear kids talk about their biggest goals. And thankfully I had the chance to experience this back when I was a camp counselor and when I was a babysitter for so many years. And this is also the whole reason why I often enjoyed speaking to them way more than peers my age. And of course I wasn't afraid of being laughed at by them, because their dreams were just as quote-unquote crazy as mine were. But yet society often takes that away from them, which is so sad to see. As they get older, they turn into these hardened adults, even by the time they're 17 or 18 or even 25. It's based on the way some of these people talk, you think they have to be over 100 years old. Yeah, it's a young man's game these days. Back in my day, I had all these big goals and big dreams, and I believed I could do all these great things. But not anymore, I'm too old now. I don't get it, and I never understood that type of talk. So that's why I always try to be the safe place for people and for the dreamers, where anyone can tell their wildest dreams to, and then know that I'm going to get them to think even bigger, or tell them all the ways why doing that thing isn't impossible. So yes, it may be challenging to avoid the dream killers at times, and to find those who do breathe life into your dreams and into your goals, but this is a huge concept to understand. So the dream killers are definitely out there, they are most definitely real, and they will be lurking, ready to pounce at your first sign of doubt and failure. But don't let them get to you, say no thanks, and get back to doing your thing. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, I hope you guys enjoyed the message. If you did, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. I will catch you guys next time. Stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding. Don't let the dream killers get too close to you. I will catch you next time. Peace.